Long before the rise of Aksum, there was another kingdom, a mysterious civilization that flourished in the lands we now call Eritrea and northern Ethiopia. The kingdom of Dʒmt, one of Africa's earliest advanced societies, was a powerful center of trade, innovation, and culture. But why has its story been overshadowed by its successors? And how did it lay the foundations for one of the greatest empires of the ancient world? Let's dive into the forgotten history of Dʒmt. The kingdom of Dʒmt emerged around the 8th century BCE, in the fertile highlands of modern-day Eritrea and northern Ethiopia. Its capital, believed to be the ancient city of Yeha, stood as a beacon of innovation and power. Look at these ruins. The towering temple dedicated to the god Almaqah still stands today, a testament to the architectural brilliance of this kingdom. Dʒmt wasn't an isolated kingdom. It thrived as a hub of trade, connecting the cultures of Africa, the Arabian Peninsula, and beyond. From here, goods like incense, ivory, and precious metals flowed across the ancient world, making Dʒmt a key player in early global trade networks. What set Dʒmt apart was its advanced society. The kingdom mastered techniques in agriculture using terraced farming to cultivate the land. It also developed advanced metallurgy, crafting tools, and weapons from bronze and iron. These innovations allowed the kingdom to flourish and defend its territory against rivals. Dʒmt's culture wasn't purely homegrown. The kingdom was founded by Sabaean ancient Yemeni immigrants and had strong ties with the Sabaean civilization in South Arabia. These connections influenced its religion, architecture, and writing systems. Some scholars even argue that Dʒmt was a joint Ethiopian-Sabaean kingdom, or at least became a joint kingdom at some point in its history. An interesting king's name appears in one of the inscriptions discovered in the city of Anfray in modern-day Eritrea, Wernheit Melkin bin Suleiman, who ruled circa 700 to 650 BC. Some scholars believe that Suleiman is the founder or at least one of the main kings of Dʒmt. The name Suleiman could actually be read as Suleiman, which is Latinized to Solomon. Could Suleiman be the biblical Solomon, being the founder or one of the main kings of a rich kingdom close to the kingdom of Sheba or Saba, who then likely later became one kingdom? Raises intriguing questions about the actual possibility of this hypothesis. Hidden in the ancient highlands of Ethiopia lies a story that bridges the sacred and the legendary, a tale of kings, queens, and divine destiny. The Kebra Nagast, or The Glory of Kings, is Ethiopia's most revered book. Within its pages we uncover the extraordinary connection between Ethiopia, King Solomon, and the Queen of Sheba. But how did their union shape history? And could it explain one of the greatest biblical mysteries? The Kebra Nagast isn't just a book, it's a national treasure, a cornerstone of Ethiopian identity. Written in Ge'ez, an ancient Semitic language, it tells the story of the Queen of Sheba's visit to King Solomon, their fateful union, and the birth of a son who would change the course of Ethiopian history forever. In the Kebra Nagast, the Queen of Sheba, known as Makeda, hears of Solomon's unmatched wisdom and embarks on an epic journey to Jerusalem. She seeks knowledge and guidance, but what she finds is far more than wisdom. The story takes a dramatic turn when Solomon and Makeda form a bond, leading to the birth of their son, Menelik I. Here's where the story becomes extraordinary. As a young man, Menelik travels to Jerusalem to meet his father, King Solomon. Solomon is overjoyed, offering Menelik the chance to stay and rule alongside him. But Menelik chooses to return to Ethiopia, solidifying the nation's independence. What happens next is the stuff of legend. According to the Kebra Nagast, Menelik doesn't return home empty-handed. He takes with him the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chest that held the 10 Commandments. The story claims that the Ark was brought to Ethiopia, where it has remained ever since. While the Kebra Nagast is a relatively recent blend of myth and faith that acts as a national narrative crafted to unify a kingdom and can't be considered an accurate historical record, it does raise an intriguing question. Why did the Ethiopian politicians and kings, while writing the Kebra Nagast in the 14th century CE, specifically choose to claim that they are descendants of King Solomon. Likely because this idea has been circulating around in the region for centuries, potentially that King Solomon was actually in this land centuries earlier. But what do we know about this land of northern Ethiopia and Eritrea before the 8th century BCE and before the kingdom of Dđmt? Was it the land of some African hunter-gatherer communities, or was it more than that? Let's go to the ancient Egyptian records. Deep in the heart of ancient Egypt's story lies a land shrouded in mystery and wonder, the legendary land of Punt, a place so rich in treasures that it was called the land of the god. Let's journey through the inscriptions of Hatshepsut's magnificent temple to uncover the secrets of Punt, its wealth and diversity. Hatshepsut's reign around 1470 BCE marked one of ancient Egypt's most prosperous periods. Among her greatest achievements was her famous expedition to Punt, vividly immortalized on the walls of her mortuary temple in Deir el-Bahri. But what do these carvings reveal? Let's dive in. Most scholars agree that ancient Egyptians used the term land of Punt to describe the region in East Africa and the southwestern part of the Arabian Peninsula. While there is no consensus on the actual borders of this land, it likely covered parts from modern-day Eritrea, northern Ethiopia, Djibouti, northern Somalia, Yemen, southwest Saudi Arabia, and potentially a little bit more to the north, until Makkah. First, let's talk about the people of Punt. The inscriptions show an incredible spectrum of racial diversity. Look closely. There are individuals with distinct features, skin tones, and hairstyles, suggesting Punt wasn't just one homogeneous land, it was a melting pot of cultures and peoples. Scholars believe this reflects the land of Punt's significance as a trade hub, connecting Africa, Arabia, and beyond. Imagine a vibrant marketplace where languages, goods, and ideas flow freely. The wealth of Punt was extraordinary. Look at these inscriptions. They depict treasures that dazzled the Egyptian court. Gold, rare woods, ivory, incense, myrrh, and even live animals like baboons. The Egyptians were so enchanted by Punt's resources that they revered it as a divine land. These goods weren't just luxury items, they played a central role in religious rituals, especially myrrh, which was essential for temple ceremonies. The land of Punt was mentioned in ancient Egyptian inscriptions since the 5th dynasty, which reigned for approximately 150 years from the early 25th century BCE until the mid-24th century BCE. This shows that the history of this region of East Africa and Southwest, the Arabian Peninsula, is much older and richer than we often think. So what do you think? Was Solomon's kingdom in Yemen and East Africa? Should we dig deeper to explore this fascinating hypothesis? Let me know in the comments below.